Road Atlanta. Hello YouTube. I have highlights from two races from week 3 with the Spec Racer Ford. Mine's a little mostly white one there. It's got some light green on the sides, which are kind of hard to see the sides at the moment. But anyway, it's that white car right in the center of the screen. The first race of the weekend that I did, I didn't qualify very well, so I started way back in the pack, and of course, I was being cautious as always at the beginning, and for the most part, I was able to avoid. Well, I mean, there wasn't the start of the race was pretty clean, and I was able to avoid most of the spinning and stuff, and plus, I wasn't the only one who was able to avoid most of the spinning. Pretty much everybody else was able to filter through all of the various accidents that happened. That being said, I am in the lower split. I am not a fast driver, so there were a number of, in fact, all of us spun or wrecked one way or another at one point throughout the course of the race, except for maybe the leaders. I really don't know what happened at the front end of the race because I wasn't there. But I want to kind of show, because what happened in these races was kind of a sequence of events, and I need to show at this point here, going onto the back straight, I actually managed to wreck avoiding, other spins, and that, if you can see it kind of like damaged the front end of my car, and that's important because that small amount of damage actually did slow down the car. The best lap times I was able to do with this car, with that damage, was like 145, and I've like I said in my other videos, I'm not that fast, but I'm trying really hard to get faster. So I've been looking really carefully at what I could do to get faster, and as you can see in this little segment here, I'm trying to pass this guy, and I'm faster than him through the slow sections, but he's able to draft up behind me and come around through the fast sections. Now, the first time this guy did that, I was a little bit hesitant, so I sort of let off a lot going into that corner because I was afraid that he would overcook it in there and take us both out. So, I gave him plenty of headwind there, and that set up on this very next lap. I was able to, do the same thing I had done on the previous lap, get by him here. But of course, having pulled off this minor little pass, and knowing that I could trust the guy enough on that first turn there, I did not let up any more after that, and he was not able to pull this move off, and so there I was able to make that pass stick. But throughout the course of the race, it sort of I kept having this question: how come I was having so much trouble, with high speed sections of this course? And on Road Atlanta, there is, that one straight that's like a 30-second long straight, and, high speed really matters. So right along with me here while I explain how I figured out what was holding me back in the high speed sections of these courses. After this race, I was kind of, disappointed because with a 1:45 lap time, the very fastest guys on the weekend were going like 1:38, but 1:40 seemed like more of a realistic kind of lap time that, maybe I could achieve if I worked at it. But like I said, it was the high speed sections that were giving me trouble. So I went back into practice after this race and, tried running again the same way with an undamaged car, and I was able to get down to 144. So that damage was accounting for 1 second, but that's still like a huge gap, and I was baffled as to what to do. So I went off and I started reading through the forums to see if I could get some information on setups, and then I learned that you should be shifting at 5,600 RPM. I've been winding it out to like 6,500 RPM, so I'm way out of the power band. And then when I went in to test that, I found out hey, there's a 5th gear in this car. I never even knew because I was trying to wind out the engine so much. Oh, man. So after that revelation, that sort of like fixed my top speed problem. So I decided I got to try again. So this is the second race of the weekend. I qualified a lot better. It's a much bigger field, but here I am. I'm qualified 5th. So, that gave me a chance to start, right up front and sort of avoid some of the wreckage at the beginning because I was ahead of it. And it also gave me the opportunity to make up a lot of ground that I would not have otherwise been able to make up because I was just too slow. So, having discovered the 5th gear and, to shift a little bit earlier, really enhanced my enjoyment because now I'm able to keep up with everybody. Even though I was so much faster now, like 2 seconds a lap faster. But anyway, even though I was faster now, I still had my fair share of adversity to overcome in this race, and I think that's sort of what made it kind of rewarding for me. I should mention that, I had the challenges I had were not my fault. See, this is lap 3, and I got sandwiched between these two guys, and a guy way in front of us sort of spun out. The guy in front of me, sort of ran wide off the track as an overreaction. And that caused me to kind of slow up. But the guy behind me, he was having none of that. He just plowed right into the back of me, and off I go. Now I had my work cut out for me. I had lost a lot of positions, and I had to, really give it all I got to, sort of make up for lost ground. And I was able, I did my part. I drove, I used my newfound 5th gear high-speed driving techniques to, sort of make up ground. But the other guys, they sort of helped me out. Get to that in a minute. But, this was the other major incident during the race that, again, I don't see how this was my fault. But, it's these sort of things happen to me and to all of us, but for whatever reason, they don't really make me angry. It's, when I'm in a giant pileup and there's nothing that could be done for it, that makes me angry. But this, see, I got past that guy, and I thought I was home free, and all of a sudden, zoom, what's going on? We'll have to go back and look at the replay. I got past him, and I think what he was trying to do is, I think he was trying to tuck in behind me to get a draft, and he just sort of totally misjudged it. But, he really paid the price for that. Somehow I managed to, I really don't know what I managed to do, how I managed to pull through that. But as you can see over the next couple of seconds here, I made up the lost time from before in my usual way. Here we are going through this turn here, and you see that giant puff of smoke? Yeah, there's a guy spun out over there, and I got past him that way. And then a little bit later on, I was going through the S's, and sure enough, another guy spun out, cruised by him there. And then later on, I'm in hot pursuit of this guy, and I'll give you a guess. What do you think's going to happen? Yeah, sure enough, and that picks me up another spot. I ended up in 5th place in this race, so that was pretty good. There won't be any racing next week because my computer got hit by lightning. So we'll be back for week 5. Take care.